Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Chris, your NFL writer here at Occupy Fantasy, here with some NFL DFS picks and tips for Week 5 on FanDuel and DraftKings. Looking at the quarterback position in this video. Dropping these previews every single week throughout the season, so if you like that, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. You get notified when we have a new video for you, in addition to some of the new showdown content that we have coming out for all the big slates on Mondays and Thursdays. You don't want to miss that. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. Lets us know that you enjoyed the content, and we certainly appreciate that. If you have any questions about quarterbacks on this slate, please drop them in the comment section below. It's the easiest place for us to have a conversation with you and let us know what we think about your favorite quarterback you want to ask about. You can also consider joining our Discord. The link to do that is above the description of the video. Every video, that's an option for you. Get in there, talk to some Occupy members, the rest of the staff about the upcoming NFL slates, as well as some of the other things that are going on. NBA, NHL starting to heat up here in the preseason, the regular season dropping soon. Certainly don't want to miss out on that. As far as the NFL is concerned, here in Week 5, the injuries are really starting to stack up around the league. We're not entirely surprised by that, but it has started to create some DFS opportunities. More on that in our running back and wide receiver videos for sure, so make sure you check those out on our channel as well. As far as quarterbacks go, the first place really that we're excited to kind of look at and talk about on this slate is Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. Now, one area of concern here is the volume has really dropped significantly. You see here in Week 1, he had 58 attempts against the Tampa Bay Bucks in a very up-tempo game on both sides. Hasn't gotten over 27 attempts since. We throw out, the lack of efficiency in the touchdown department against the Chargers in Week 2. He's still been very, very good to us as far as his efficiency in the passing game, despite low volume. Let's see what happens here against the Giants in Week 5. I think this is one of the better games to stack this week. One of the better stacks in the late window as well. Dallas, the favored side, one of the higher team totals in the week. I think the highest team total on the week. Dak has one of the better pass blocking offensive lines thus far on the season, which I don't think is a complete surprise to people. But more importantly, the Giants defense is one of the worst passing defenses in the league so far. So plenty of opportunity for Dak to get there for you in your lineups. And while we're on the subject, the other quarterback is certainly worth considering here as well at a much lower price tag. $6,000 here on DraftKings, $7,400 over on FanDuel. I believe Dak, just to go back to him for a second, $81 on FanDuel, so not too expensive either. Dallas has been allowing their opponents to pass a lot throughout the season. We've seen 4 games. Through the 4 games, they're allowing an average 315 passing yards per game. Quarterbacks throwing over 2 touchdowns per game slightly. And then you bring in a guy like Danny Dimes here, who obviously has the mobility upside that isn't as often discussed with him as it is with some of the other quarterbacks we're more familiar with that we talk about week in and week out. But it is certainly there for Jones, has the ability to get there, is the underdog side of a high total game here. So we like Daniel Jones a lot as well here in Week 5. Back on a main slate, Tom Brady, the GOAT, just $7,400 here against the Dolphins at home. Looking to bounce back after what was a pretty tough passing outing for him against the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. Pretty reasonably priced. One of the more expensive quarterbacks on the slate. Obviously, second most expensive quarterback on the slate here. $8,400 over on FanDuel. But the reason for that is obviously the high expectation for efficiency with Tampa's offense. 29-point total this week. Pretty average defense from the Dolphins coming into this matchup. And Brady with arguably the best weapons in the league with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. And since apparently tight ends are the only position that score touchdowns now, you can't forget about Cam Brate or O.J. Howard. Brate, a much, much better option than O.J. Howard right now, playing far more. O.J. Howard really only worth watching showdown contest formats or if there's an injury there for now, the way the usage is shaking out. Tom Brady not throwing a touchdown pass last week, certainly uncharacteristic of him. I wouldn't expect it to stay that way for long either. So definitely a great play here in Week 5. How long was it going to take us to talk about Kyler Murray? Obviously the most impressive quarterback so far on the season. I don't think that's too much of a hot take. Finally had a game where he didn't score a rushing touchdown against the Rams. Arizona with over 30 points every single week. Is it going to stop here against San Francisco in their divisional matchup? Who knows? I don't think so. Personally, I think this is going to be another high-scoring affair. Odds makers seem to agree. This is one of the higher total environments on the slate thus far. 50.5 points last I checked. So definitely another option to consider as far as game stacks are concerned. Kyler has that mobility I just talked about with Daniel Jones as well, always going to be there. So that's certainly worth keeping in mind. Mobility also a factor for who we think will be his opposing signal caller in rookie Trey Lance, who played just a half of football last week against the Seahawks and gave us 20.4 DraftKings points. Was accountable for just under half of San Francisco's total team rushes. Like to think that if he is the starter for a full game here against the Cardinals, that Kyle Shanahan and his staff will make and take full advantage of Trey Lance's athletic skill set in this matchup here. So certainly a much more interesting game if he starts for us. It's no direct slight at Jimmy Garoppolo. I just think from a fantasy football standpoint that is the case. Worth watching that Kyle Shanahan did mention Garoppolo does have a chance apparently to suit up this week. We're a little skeptical there, but that is worth monitoring, and it does kind of change, I guess, the outlook. For Lance, you don't want to play him if he's not playing. Not going to leave Jalen Hurts out of the quarterback discussion really ever until we see a poor game out of him. Hasn't given us this 21.8 points here against San Francisco in week 2. I believe that's his worst output as a starting quarterback in the NFL as far as fantasy football is concerned. He's got a high floor each and every week, given the rate they're passing, giving his own mobility and rushing upside. So Jalen Hurts, if he's held under that amount by the Carolina Panthers, who have been a very tough defense, it'll be the first time in his career that has ever happened to him. So not expecting that here. Think he is still viable in all contest types here in week 5. Just 7,000 here on DraftKings, as you can see, 8,100 over on FanDuel. That's going to do it for this quarterback rundown, folks. For more information, keep an eye out for the daily plug, which we will release at OccupyFantasy.com on Friday afternoon. That'll have not just our favorite quarterback plays, but also running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, our favorite contests that we recommend you play based off of your bankroll tier, as well as the ideal approach for both low-risk and high-risk contest types tailored to the context of the slate with the players that we like. It's probably the most important part of the plug, frankly, more important than the players themselves. So make sure you don't miss out on that. Again, this is Daily Plug at OccupyFantasy.com. Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel below. When you do that, you will get notified when we have a new video for you to check out, so you certainly don't want to miss out on that. Also, give us a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed this. It lets us know that you want to see more things like this throughout the season, which is certainly our intent and our plan. Lots of things going on for you to check out. Definitely appreciate it. Any questions about a quarterback I didn't mention, please leave them in the comment section below, or you can join our Discord where you can talk to us and other Occupy members about the upcoming action as well. That's going to do it for this video for Occupy. I'm Chris. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.